President Obama and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu do not agree on the best way to keep Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Mr. Netanyahu is skeptical of Mr. Obama's focus on international diplomacy. With the international talks with Iran set to resume in February, some U.S. congressional leaders also are growing impatient. Republican House Speaker John Boehner surprised many by inviting the Israeli leader to speak to Congress, as he said, about the threats posed by Iran's nuclear program and radical Islam.
I did not consult with the White House. The Congress can make this decision on its own. I don't believe I'm poking anyone in the eye. There is a serious threat that exists in the world. And the president last night kind of papered over it.
A White House spokesman said the president will not meet with Mr. Netanyahu because of the proximity of Israeli elections later in March. Democratic House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi also questioned the timing of the visit.
This presentation will take place within 2 weeks of the election in Israel. I don't think that's appropriate for any country.
Secretary of State John Kerry sought to play down what many view as a snub to President Obama.
We welcome the Prime Minister of Israel to come and speak in America anytime. And obviously, it's a little unusual to learn of an invitation from the Speaker's office. That said, everybody knows that the subject of Iran is much on people's minds.
The president has a plan to keep Iran from developing a nuclear weapon, Pelosi said, and Congress needs to hold off on proposed votes to impose additional sanctions on Iran.
It may or may not succeed, but we cannot have it fail because Congress wants to flex its muscle unnecessarily.
But Democratic Senator Robert Menendez disagrees.
Iran needs to know that there will be consequences for failure. Now, some of us believe those consequences should be additional sanctions.
Steve Billet of George Washington University says Congress has a role to play in shaping U.S. foreign policy, but its involvement could complicate ongoing diplomacy.
I'm not quite sure how all this plays out when it comes to the negotiations. It's clearly a confounding variable for the people who are involved in the negotiations to have these particular issues overhanging the negotiations. When the Congress insinuates itself into a situation like this, it really increases the sort of the uncertainty.
In an unusual opinion piece for the Washington Post, the foreign secretaries of the European Union, Germany, France, and Britain said any additional sanctions on Iran now would jeopardize international efforts at a critical juncture. They appealed to everyone to give diplomacy a chance. Cindy Saine, VOA News on Capitol Hill.